Jay, YouTube on it. Om 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 Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Pranams to the lotus feet of the Lord, pranams to all the Mahatmas and Gurujis, pranams to all of you. We are in shloka number 57. Maharshi Kapilacharya Kridagyo Medini Patihi Tribhadatrida Sadhyaksho Mahashringa Kritanta Krite. This is the shloka which we will be doing it. And here we look at it. Just to give you a quick recap. Maharshi Kapilacharya, the one who is the great sage Kapilacharya. This is the Kapilacharya who gave Jnanam to Devahuti. In the Bhagavatam, the story is coming. Then Kritagnya, one who is the creation and the knower. One. Then Medini Patihi, the Lord of Earth. Up to this, we stopped. So if you look at the Vishnu Sahasranamam, you will find a connection between one Nama to another Nama. You can always see that connection. You will see the beautiful connection. And within the Nama also, there is a connection between, within the shloka itself, there is a connection between one Nama to another Nama. And the flow also will be very nice. Here, for example, you say Kritagnya, who is the knower of everything, he has said, and who is the creation itself, and who is the knower. So he is the intelligent principle and material principle, and also he is the Medini Patigi. Again, he is reinforcing by this, by the Lord of Earth, by the Lord of Earth. So as I said in the last class, one is expected to divinize the whole world as Bhagavan. That is the very purpose of Vishnu Sahasranama. And also the very another important part, especially for those who are seekers of moksha, those mukshus, those who are studying the scriptures, one should develop the vairagyam. One should develop the vairagyam. Often the most confused word, most misunderstood word. Because once you know everything belongs to Lord, then how do I develop vairagyam, still live in this world? This confusion often comes. In fact, Bhadrahari says in Vairagya Shatakam, in one of the shlokas, he says, even though you have enjoyed so many things in this world for so long, but anyhow, one day when you are going away, you are going to leave all these things and go. Why don't you develop Vairagyam now? Why don't you develop Vairagyam? This is the shloka which comes in Vairagya Shatakam. So you will wonder, what do you mean by this Vairagyam? Because that is a connection with this Medini Patihi. Because he is the Lord of the entire universe. And then how do I reconcile and how do I develop Vairagyam, which is one of the important qualifications for all the mokshus, those who are seekers of moksha. And Bhagavan has given many tips in the Gita also against this. So I will give you few things so that we can have a clarity around this particular point. The point is, Shastra never says you should not enjoy life. Shastra never says you should not earn wealth. Because Shastra itself says there are so many homas, or so many prayers which is there in the entire Veda Purva Bhaga. You do this, you get this. You do this, you get this. It gives you all those details. So Veda is very clear that every individual initially wants to have earning and enjoyment, which is very natural. And only thing is, Shastra says, don't stop with this. You further progress and go to Dharma and Moksha. That's how the human pursuits the Chaturvida Pala Purushartham. Dharma, Artha, Kama. Don't stop at Artha, Kama, or even Dharma for that matter. Dharma means what? Earning punyam, Any amount of punyam you do for earn due to very many actions, they are also limited. What? It again you go to heaven, enjoy the pleasures, and again you have to come back. Antavattu palam teshan tadbhavat alpamedasam, Bhagavan said in the Gita. So, what Shastra is asking us to do is understand the limitations of the world. The world has got the limitations in terms of everything has got only a limitations in terms of enjoyment. Even you enjoy anything, only to that extent you want to enjoy. Everything has got actually there's no actually enjoyment in it. That's a very high philosophical point. Even if you enjoy, what Shastra is cautioning you is only three things. I would like to put that point, then we move to the next Nama. The first thing is whatever the desire you have got, the asha, the desire you have got, the desire has to be legitimate. Any desire you have got, the desire has to be legitimate. Understand? First principle. No unethical desires are allowed. The second one is the desire has to be in moderation, not in excess. In Tamil, there's a saying, Alavukku meerinal amridamum nanju. What is meant, even anything in excess will always be suicidal. It will be vasham, it says. So, anything has to be in moderation. And the third most important point is convert all your binding desires to non-binding desires. Convert necessities to preferences. Knowing well, Medini Patihi, the whole universe belongs to Lord. I am only a custodian and I have been given a temporary ownership to enjoy and contribute to the society. That's where I am living. So I can have three conditions. First one is legitimate, second one is moderation, and third one is non-binding. What do you mean by non-binding? I'll give you a very simple example. I prefer to have a coffee in the morning. Another statement, I must have a coffee before I start doing anything. So when you say, I must have a coffee, otherwise I cannot start the day, that means you are making it binding, conditional. The moment you say, I prefer to have a coffee, if coffee is not there, tea is okay. If tea is not there, milk is okay. If nothing is there, hot water is okay. That is non-binding. Very simple. So you can look at all your desires and put these three conditions. First one is legitimate, second one is moderation, third one is non-binding. Once you have got, because this is what is very, very important for us to develop vairagya. So Medini Patihi, when Bhagavan says, he is the Lord of the earth, means everything belongs to Bhagavan and we are all only a custodian and temporary ownership. I explained very detailed last class. I thought I will add these points before I continue. The next Nama, 534, Tripadaha. Tripadaha, you can take it in two ways. One is one who has got three steps or three steps. Three steps, you know that the Trivikrama who has done the three steps which you have seen it. But the more appropriate will be to, as given here, you can take as a tripada, three padas. Three padas means what? Three steps. So instead of that, the better meaning is you take it as the three states. So padyate, gamyate, iti padam. That which is gained is pada. So here the three states of experience experienced by us. What is the three states of experience? One is the waking state, another one is the dream state, and the third one is the deep sleep experiences. They are all called tripadas. So with reference to the individual, they are called avasthas. They are called avastatrayam. That's what we say. With reference to the total, they are called prapanchas. So that's the stula prapancha, the waking physical world, sukshma prapancha, the subtle dream world, and the karana prapancha, the causal state. When the entire world is in unmanifest conditions, all the three padas are the one who has all the three. All the three padas, everything come into one, which is come into unmanifest condition. That is the causal state. And so the one who has got these three padas, what is that? Sula prapancha, sukshma prapancha, and Karna Prapancha. So all the three are nothing but Parameshwara alone. At the same time, Parameshwara is distinct from all the three. So that's why he is called Tripada. So this name is with reference to the total. At the individual, we have got three states, which is waking state, dream state, and then the deep sleep state. But at the totality, Stula Prapancha, Sukshma Prapancha, and Karna Prapancha. So Tripadas refers to the three states, which is nothing but Bhagavan. And Bhagavan, and in one way we say it is only all three is Bhagavan. Other way we say there is nothing but Parameshwara alone. They are all Bhagavan alone. And sometimes we will say this Bhagavan is outside these three padas also. We will interpret that differently also. So here we can take it as three padas means Bhagavan is there in the three things. Because Medini Patihi has already said. So all the three states are only Bhagavan. And then next one is Tribada Tridasadyakshaha. Tribada we have seen. Then Tridashadyakshaha. Tridashadyakshaha. So the Lord of the three states of experiences. Tridashadyakshaha. Adyakshaha. So here we can look at it two ways. At the individual level, the individual goes through three dashas, the states of experience. What is that? As I said earlier, the Jagrat, waking, Swapna, the dream state, and Sushupti, the deep sleep state, depending on the predominance of the three gunas. Bhagavan is Sakshi, the witness of witness. That's why he said Adyaksha, who presides over these three states. So Bhagavan is Tripadas, is earlier we have seen. He is the Adyaksha. Adyaksha means he is a Sakshi. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. It comes in the 9th chapter. Adyaksha. Adyaksha means he is a Sakshi, he is a witness of all the three padas and also the three states of experiences and the three gunas as well. So he is the one who is the witness of all the three states of experience. But he is not any one of them. All the three states of experiences are Tripada, and all the three levels at the total level, it's called, that is the Stula, Sukshma, Karna, Prapancha, are also Tripada. If all the three are Bhagavan, he is also free from all the three. And the Atma is the witness of all the three states of experiences. Adyaksha is a Sakshi, a witness. At the individual level, it is Atma, which is the witness of everything. At the total level, it is the Brahman. The Brahman only is blessing the Maya and then giving the Stula, Sukshma, and the Karna Prapancha. So you can look at it the individual level as well as the total level. And the Devas are called another meaning. The Devas are called Tridashas. Tridashas means the Devas, another name is Tridashas, because they have only three dashas and they do not have the Jara, the old age. And they are always youthful. When you go to Devaloka, Devas are always youthful. So he is the Adyaksha, the one who presides over all the Devas. One who presides over all the Devas. Earlier we have seen who is the presiding over all the Devas. Indra is the head Deva of all the other Devas. All Devas are nothing but, I have told you before also, all Devas are nothing but each one has got a portfolio to manage the entire universe. Surya Devata, Chandra Devata, Varuna Devata, Vayu, Agni, Vidyut Devata. You can take any, Gravity Devata. You can take anything. Everything is only a function. In the entire universe, there are so many things have to be working together, like ministers of the modern days. And Indra is the Adipati of all of them, and he is the one. But all these Devatas, including Indra, is controlled by what? Hiranyagarbha. So that is what is called. He is the Adyaksha. So he is the Tridadas. So the Deva, he is the Adyaksha, means who presides over all of them. Adyaksha. That's what it is. You can take the other meaning also. Then Mahashringaha. Mahashringaha means one who has a very big horn or peak. So two ways you can interpret. Mahashringa means one who has got a great horn. In his avatara as a Matsya, the fish, he has got a horn which is so big that he could pull the boat containing the king Satyavrata and the Saptarishis. Again, in his avatara as the Varaha, the boar, he has got a big horn which has got with which he can lift the entire earth. So he is a Mahashringa. So refers to the Avatar Leela. So that is what is given. The second way you can interpret is the word Shringa also means a peak. Having the Mahashringa means the peak of the Himalayas or the North Pole, which indicates the Meru as his abode. So he is a Mahashringa. So the Mahashringa is considered as the North Pole where the sun never sets. So the Vedas talks about the midnight sun, or the Mahashringa is like a mark, a pendant on him. So that's another way you can interpret it. So Mahashringaha. Then final Nama, na Kritanta Krit. Kritanta Krit. Again, you can interpret in two ways. One is one who withdraws the Jagat. Second one is the destroyer of the death. So, now Kritasya, let us look at the first one. One who withdraws the Jagat. Kritasya Antakrita. Kritasya Antakrita. He is the Antakrita, one who brings an Anta. Anta means an end to the Krita Jagat, and as a Kritanta Krita. So, the Jagat is, one meaning is Jagat is Krita, and Antakrita means bringing an end to the Jagat, Kritanta Krita. There are also people who build things but need not but they need a demolition squads to pull them. So there are others who cannot build things but they happily destroy things. So thus people, cultures, libraries, temples have been destroyed. Bhagavan created the Jagat, but he does not need anyone to demolish it. He himself does it. In fact, he does not destroy. What does he do? He brings everything, he resolves everything and into a Karna Sharir, Karna Prapancha, we say. At the time of Pralaya, he resolves everything. He doesn't destroy. Everything goes, including the time and space. Time and space and the entire 14 lokas, everything he withdraws. Again, everything comes back. It is a cycle. The whole Srishti, Sthiti, Laya is a cyclic process, which we have discussed earlier. So he is the maker and he takes his back down to himself. In fact, Mundaka Upanishad says a beautiful example of a spider. How the spider builds the web from the saliva and it itself pulls it back. Etorna nabi srijate grinnate cha. So that example is given in the Upanishad. So this is the meaning of, one meaning, Kritasya Antakrite, one who withdraws the Jagat at the time of Pralaya. The second one is the second destroyer of earth. How do you put the Nama? Kritaha Antaha Yena Sa Antakrite. Kritaha Antaha Yena Sa Antakrite. So the Lord Yama is called Kritanta because he brings Anta, that end, death to the people. Bhagavan is Kritanta Krita because he brings an end to the Lord of Yama also. Because Yama is a Yama Dharma Raja. We say Yamaya Dharma Rajaya Bhritevecha Antakaya cha Vaivashvataya Kalaya Sarvabhuta Kshayaya cha. We say during the Sahasranam, in the Sandhya Vadana, we face the we face the south and chant it every day. So Yamadharma Raja is the one who brings back. And what is that? He is a lord of Yama also. Again, Yama is a post, as I told you, is a minister. And he works according to the whims and fancies of the Bhagavan, who is the ultimate control of everything, all the devas. Bishasmat vataf pavate, Bishoteti Suryaha, Bishasmad Agnischendrascha, Mrityurdhavati Panchamayiti. It comes in Taittiriya Upanishad. Because the Vayu is behaving because of fear. Bishasmat, this means there's a fear. And Vataf Pavate, Bishoteti Suryaha. The Surya Bhagavan is sunrise and sunset, all the planetary rotation, everything is because of the fear of the Lord. Similarly, Bishasmat Agnischendrascha. Agni is fire. The fire is having a heat principle because of Bhagavan. He is having a fear. Mrityu Davati Panchamayiti. Mrityudi Davati. So the Mrityu, Yamadharma Raja is working because of the fear, because he is the Adhyaksha. Bhagavan is the boss. And he is ultimately, who is that Bhagavan? Vishnu. And we give different names in the different places. But as I told you, if you go to Shiva Purana, we say Shiva is the boss. The Vishnu Sahasranamam, Vishnu is the boss. Or technically in the Vedanta, we say Hiranyagarbha. So everything meaning the one and the same. Otherwise, very technically speaking, Saguna Ishvara, Maya Sakitam Brahman, all these things are synonymous. Understand these things. Okay, so this is the meaning of Kritanta Krit. Then we go to the next shloka, which is 58. Mahavaraho Govinda Govinda Mahavararo Govinda Sushena Kanakangadi. Aதாவது, you have to understand one way in terms of chanting. If you want to take a pause, Mahavaraho Govinda, you have to have the Visargam. Or if you were chanting in one breath, then Mahavaraho Govindas. So the Govinda, the is sound has to be there because next word is Sa. Govinda Sushena Kanakangati Gukhyo Gabiro Gahano Gupta Chakra Gadadharaha. So let us look at one by one. Mahavaraha. Mahavaraho. It is Mahavaraha. The great Varaha. The Lord is Mahan, the great, and also in the form of Varaha, a boar in a particular avatara. And the earth was lost in water in the Avantara Pralaya, and it might have been a global upheaval. And then the earth was saved by the Lord who took the form of a boar in the Varaha Avatara. You can see all those stories. And he is the restorer of the earth. He is the Mahavaraha. Then Govinda. The Govinda has got many meanings. I explained this in the Nama number 187, where the Nama is appearing. It is reappearing here. There we have said, in 187 we gave the meaning rescuer of the earth and Vedas. And here the Govinda has interpreted in the Bhashyam. Shankara gives it, the one who knows, one who is known through the Vedas. One who is known through the Vedas. Of course, we have seen Govinda means he is the head of the cows. Krishna is a Govinda because he is the one who manages all the cows. So the another meaning we have seen. So let us look at this meaning in one known through the Vedas. The Go means Shabda. Since Bhagavan is known through go to what is that? That is the Vedas. He is Govinda. Understand, Bhagavan can be understood only by the Vedas. What do you mean by this? You cannot prove Ishvara by mathematical language or science or any tarka. There are certain darshanas. Darshanas means philosophies which accept Vedas, but they say there is no Ishvara. Okay? And you have to understand the Vedas only reveal the Ishvara who is managing this entire prapancha. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Karna, Karta. That Ishvara, that Bhagavan who has got 6 bhagas which we have seen, that can be revealed only by the Vedas. You cannot use any tarka, the logic. You cannot use any science also. The biggest confusion for the youngsters who have not understood, this is the problem, and the parents who have not been taught properly the religion also, this is the biggest confusion. Because children ask, where is God? Can you prove me? Because we do various pujas, various worshipping we do every day. We have got an altar, we light the lamp and then put a kolam, all those things. Immediately children ask, all these things what? I don't believe all these things. Can you prove? Then you tell the Hiranyakashipu story, Prahlada, from the pillar, Narayana came. These are all, no. These are all just stories, just wink your eyes. 12b, where is it? You prove it. If they ask, what is the right answer? Veda is the only answer. Whether you want to take Veda as the pramana, as pramana means what? As another instrument of knowledge. Like eyes are revealing forms and colors, and ears are revealing all the sounds, nose is revealing all the smell, and the mouth is revealing all the taste, and then the skin is revealing all the touches. There are 5 pramanas, 5 sense organs, 5 indriyas. Similarly, Veda is the 6th pramana. I have explained all these things before. I'm just reminding you again. So, Bhagavan can be revealed only through Vedas. The science can neither prove nor disprove. So, do not ask for scientific proof of presence of God. Of course, indirectly through inference we can express. The other day, one person came, my son's classmate. He came from America, and he is a Singaporean. And his friend, he is now working in America. He came for some holidays, and then I met him. I had a long chat. And he says, I mean, he has got a sister who is also married, and the sister has got a child who is about just going to be a year old. And he says that child has to be allowed to choose whichever religion it wants to do. We should not force it upon them. This is what he has told his parents. So the parents became nervous. So they had a conversation. So then my wife told that you explain him what is our religion is all about. So he came. This is a serious discussion. Huh? It happened just 3 days ago. And then the person came, sat. I said, "What do you mean by this?" I said, "No, no, no. That person has to. That child has to decide on its own. How the child will know what he has to decide? Once they grow up, they will decide. So till then, what they will do? The child will follow whatever parents do it, right? If the parents do some puja and other things, the child will follow and imitate. That's how the child learns. More than what you say, the child will observe and learn what our parents do. That you have to understand." So when I told them, yeah, correct, that is correct. Then I asked him, "Are you believing in God?" "No, I don't know what is it." "Okay, do you believe in something which is a supernatural power, which is beyond your control, which is acting on the outcomes of whatever you do? Do you believe that?" "Yes, yes, that I believe." Because we all experience it. Because that's the experience. What is the experience? What is the experience? When we try to do certain things, certain time it is beyond my control. I go to a restaurant with 10 other people, have food, and everybody is okay, but I had a food poisoning. The same food. Why? The food is good. My stomach is not able to take it. I eat the same upma last week, no problem. This week, again, acid reflux or I have a problem. So many things in our life, we know that by experience, which you should have got it by this now, by this time, and at least by the middle age. That's what Shastra says. If you look at it carefully, look at your experience in life, many things are beyond your control. You try to do certain things, the outcome could be very different. You do not know. That's what Bhagavan says, Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana. So when I told him, he said, I agree. Then I told him, this is what we call it as God. Okay. Then what is Vedas? Then what is Vedas? So when God is there, who is there, and then we say this Vedas is nothing but the user manual. Because there is an extra natural power which is beyond our control, and which is also influencing our outcome in addition to my free will. So if that is influencing, then he is working in the airline industry, by the way. He is doing analytics. So I use the same language. Do you like a tailwind or headwind? Which one you like? The airline makes more money if there are more tailwinds. You know why? Because when you push it, then your fuel saving is there, the aircraft runs faster. If you have got a headwind, then you have to accelerate it more. For example, if you go against the slope, what happens? You climb up the hill, you have to spend more petrol. If you go down the slope, you don't need to. So similarly, in the airline, headwind and tailwind. So you tell me which one is good? Tailwind, right? Similarly, if you have got a proper understanding of this Vedas, which is a user manual given by those invisible principle which is governing us, if you want to be intelligent enough, you can harness that. You can take the help of that user manual called Vedas, and you can intelligently live. And Vedas is not compelling you to use it. Veda is only like a help desk in the railway station or airplane in the airport, and which is available. You don't need to go to the help desk unless you require a help. But the help desk is available 24 by 7. Similarly, Vedas as a user manual is available as a help desk for those intelligent seekers. Who are the intelligent seekers? By the intelligence means those who have understood I do not control the outcome of life fully. I am only the I am only the having a little bit of free will which I have got. Definitely, I've got a free will. I'm not discounting the free will. I've got a free will by which I can do something, but I am not controlling the outcome. There is something invisible. Only for such people who have got this basic understanding, these Vedas are meaningful. Why I'm giving you this much this argument or this much experience of last week discussion is Many of you will be having such people in your family, your children or grandchildren, whatever it is, and you must know how to answer them. If you do not know how to answer them, they will say, these are all cock and bull stories, I don't believe it. Then you will be disappointed. If they are a little bit matured after 15 or 16, you say, if you don't believe, choice is yours. Choice is yours. Krishna says, after teaching everything in Gita, he says, Etechasi tatakuru. Nobody is pressing you that you have to follow this. Similarly, he is the Govinda. He is the Govinda means what? He is the one who is known only through the Vedas, not by anything else. Let us be very, very clear. Ishvara is understood only through the Vedas. And once you study, then once what Veda reveals, once you study, then you understand there is a meaning to it. Then you apply your logic, the Tarka Shastra, you apply your experience, Anubhava. We call it as the Yukti and Anubhava. So Veda is the one which reveals Ishvara, which is called Govinda, who is known through Vedas. And that's where the Veda says it takes you through a progressive steps. It says you can have, as an intelligent person, the Veda Purva Bhaga allows you to earn and enjoy. As I told you earlier in the introduction, you can legitimately earn and enjoy, and subsequently you can progress the ladder and finally go to from Dharma, Artha, Kama, Dharma to Moksha Purushartha. Then you have got Mahavakyas and everything. So you understand this. So Bhagavan can be known only through Vedas. This is the answer. You must be very, very clear. Otherwise, you are totally confused. I also believe this. They are not believe. Believe is what? This is what is Shraddha. Belief is Astikya Buddhi on the Vedas. What Shastra is given by them. Because that intelligent principle, when created the universe, when the created means when it comes from unmanifest condition, when it comes to manifest condition, when it comes back to the manifest condition, which we call it as a Srishti, along with that Vedas are given. Veda did not come afterwards, that Bhagavan thought about it and brought it. Bhagavan created this universe, and simultaneously at the same time and space were also created. The universe is also created. Universe means not only the Bhuloka, the 14 lokas were created, and along with the user manual is created. And that user manual is called Vedas. So understand very clearly, the Lord can be known only through Vedas. We can experience, we can understand subsequently with our and infer it, all those things later. That we can do it. But you have to have this. So one of the Upanishads, again, Mundaka Upanishads, if you examine your life over a period of time, then you will understand what is the stupidity I have got, what is the limitations I have got. And there is some broader principle which is governing. Everybody goes through it. An atheist calls it as a luck. An atheist calls it as a luck. A religious person calls it as a god. A religious person calls it as a god. That's what we are saying here. And ultimately what? Ultimately, a Vedantic person says, whatever the God is giving is not distributing anything. Whatever I did in the past, what is that? Punya and Papa, which again cannot be proved by science, which again Veda reveals. Veda says only with the Punya and Papa, whatever you have accumulated, that only your one portion is fructifying. That we call it as a Prarabdha. That for the Prarabdha. So Bhagavan says, I can be known only through the Vedas. In Gita also Krishna makes himself known. He reveals himself through his own words. Which are the words of Ishvara? And there he says, and then what they are the words. So he says, Krishna says, this is what I taught to Vivaswan, the Lord or the Sun, the head of the solar dynasty. And he taught it to his son Manu. And Manu taught it to Ishwaku. And in which, Rama is the lineage of Ishwaku Vamsa. So handed down from generation to generation, and the kings who were sages knew it, because in those days kings were also sages. They were Raja Rishis. All the kings knew the Shastra very well generations ago, or else the kings knew and the Rishis knew. So thus that they were having the council. For example, Rama had Dasharatha had Vasishta as the guru, and who will guide him. That's how it is. So thus this knowledge has been coming down through the generations. That's what he says in the fourth chapter, beginning first shlokas. Imam vivasvate yoham proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manurishvaha vebravit evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalaneha mahata yogo nashtaf parantapa. Over a period, people have forgotten. Where? Krishna says 5,000 years ago. Over a period of time, people have forgotten what I taught, what I created, what I gave. People have forgotten. And he says this is a rahasyam, it's a guhyam. In so many places he uses. Because this Veda is very secret. Why? It is available. Internet, everything is available. Why it is guhyam? It cannot be grasped by everyone. Only people who have got the discriminative faculty, who have got a discerning capability, who are able to learn from experiences can only say there is a God. Others cannot do it. So if there is a Nastikavadi who doesn't accept Vedas, don't argue with them. They will learn in their own, either this Janma or next Janma. There are so many people, even in our generations, who have turned from Nastikam to Astikam. The classic example being, at least in Tamil Nadu, I know one great poet called Kavinger Kannadasan. And he was a Pakka Nastikavadi. And after experience, he turned completely 180 degrees. And then he wrote a beautiful book which is available in English. Also, it is available in the internet. I think free copy is available. Arthamulla Hindu Madam, the meaningful Hinduism. Go and search. You will get it. Even those who are not even having Tamil as the language, you can go to the English translation. What he has done it. Take our Swami Chinmayananda. I can go on and on and on in this one Nama. I mean, take Chinmayananda, who was a journalist, who was a Pakka atheist, and he wanted to go to Himalayas and interview Swami Shivananda, who was earlier as who was a medical doctor earlier. And you can go to Rishikesh, you can have see the Shivananda ashramam, and the library is there, his Adhishtanam is there. He said, I want to interview all these Akaru monks who are all cheating the world and then just sitting idling and then doing nothing, and then they are cheating the world and then doing all these things. I want to interview them and go there. Go to Chinmaya's biography. There's a beautiful book also available. Or there is a video available. It's Quest. It's called Quest. It is available in the YouTube. 4 parts. So you go there and then you got completely converted. He got completely converted. Rest is the story of Chinmaya. Because of Swami Chinmaya, whom I call it as a 20th century Adi Shankara, I am able to speak this much. He is my ultimate, he is my first guru. I've got so many gurus, he is my first guru. Because I got inspired by Swami Chinmayananda in my college days. I have listened to his lectures when he used to conduct what he called the Gita Gyan Egyan. So after coming back from the Himalayas, wandering in the Himalayas, where Tapovan Maharaja taught him the entire Vedantic concept, he said, this knowledge has to be given to the world. So he brought it to the masses. Today, while on the one hand, there is some generation, people are turning to atheism or being called themselves as free thinkers. On the other hand, Veda is flourishing. Not even in India, it is flourishing in the West. It is flourishing in the East. You go to internet recently, there is one person has translated our Vedantic text into Korean language. There's a person in Brazil who is spreading it. There's a person in Greece who is spreading this knowledge. There are Hare Rama, Hare Krishna movement who is taking it all over the world. You can see it. So this Shastra will never die. Don't worry about it. There are some people who think, hey, will this die after some time? No, Bhagavan will take care. Because Bhagavan said, Paritranaya sadhunam yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tatatmanam shijamyaham. He will take care of it. You don't need to worry about the Hinduism surviving. Hinduism is not a religion. It's a way of life. We call it as a Sanatana Dharma, eternal way of living. So you don't need to worry about it. You just follow what Veda says. So if you follow what Veda says, why I'm coming with all these stories, You can be known. The real God can be known. Who is the real God? I explained 2 classes earlier. Initially, we start with Ekarupa Ishvara, then Anekarupa Ishvara, and finally it is Arupam. The real God is formless. The real God is formless, who is called Purushaha, who is called Paraprakriti. All those various words are there, who is revealed through Mahavakyam, Tatu Tvam Asi. So that real God can be known only through Vedas. How do you do it? By properly studying the Veda Antabaha, which is called Veda Antam, Vedantam, where you do a systematic inquiry. It is very, very logically presented, very sequentially presented. Once you understand, summarizing, once you understand, Veda is the user manual given to the world, mankind, not for animal kind, only for mankind. It is given. If you apply those principles and properly live through the process, what Veda says, you will discover what is that? Tatutvam aham brahmasmi. So that Govinda is known only through the Vedas. That means summarizing systematic study is very, very important. Bhagavad Gita study is a must for the so-called every Hindu who believe in God. Put it this way. Anybody can study, actually. As I told you, anybody can be a Christian or any religion for that matter. If you take it, it is so logical. You call God as initially as a Jesus Christ, no problem. Allah, no problem. Ishvara Allah, Dhere Naam. It's okay. And Bharadiyar has also given a song actually in Tamil. So we don't bother. As long as you believe in that invisible principle, invisible force which is acting on you, which is also contributing the outcome of whatever you do. That force, you can call it by any name. That force is called Bhagavan. And that can be known only through Vedas. Understand this very clearly. Very beautiful Nama, Govinda. Then Sushena. Sushena means one with a good army. Bhagavan has a big army of Devatas. As I told you, Devatas are all working for him, under him, report to him. And as I told you, they are all having a fear. That's what the one Upanishad gives you, just to give you an idea, it gives you that way. So he is the presiding deity of all the Devatas, means various phenomena which is there. If you are able to lift this finger and move this movement, it is also Devata. If I am speaking, there's a Vak Devata. If I am hearing, Chakshu Devata. If I am seeing, there's a seeing Devata. So every movement, take your own body anatomy, so many movements, so many thoughts you are doing, everything as a Devata. Okay, that's what it is. You can give any name for that. So he is the one with a good army of Devatas. They are called Sena, the army of God. That's why he is called Senapati. Senapati. That is one name. It means here it is a Sushena. Now Sushena means one who has got a good army. It means one who is manifest in the form of various laws and order. That one Bhagavan only, the one only is manifesting into various things and is acting the universe. And for understanding purpose, we call Devatas, they are commanding all those things. Only one Bhagavan who is manifesting, because these are all very confusing. You will say what you are saying this way and that way also. Initially, for understanding, Lord is there and he has got the ministers who are acting on his instruction. That is also true at the initial understanding. Later, the same thing, we change the tape and say, what do you say? No, Lord only is acting as various Devatas. That is also true. Why? Because he is the Antaryami of each one, including the Devatas. Who are the Devatas then? Devatas are the exalted Jivas who have gone to the heaven because of the lots of punyam they have done. You can also become a Surya Devata. You can also become a Yama. You can also become a Indra. All those things you can do. So Devatas are all what? Ministerial posts, as I said. Who is managing them? He is the Antaryami for Devatas. He is the Antaryami for all the Jiva also. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. So he is there. So he has got very, very good army of Devatas and who can manage the entire universe. If we fight among ourselves, I repeatedly say, there's a war which is going on. Very, very unfortunate. So many people are suffering. I'm not judging whether it is right or wrong. That is all. Individuals can have your opinion. But the point here is, we all have nuclear arsenal. And if you start creating a nuclear war and then Third World War, whatever it comes, because of ego of the mankind, the entire mankind will be wiped out. Then all the animals and birds and everything, fish and everything will be very happy. The earth is not belonging to only to the human race. I repeatedly come to that point. If you behave properly, Bhagavan says, Parasparam bhavayantah. Give and take. After all, what is there? You say, my airspace, my land. Come on, guys. What nonsense is this? If the leaders behave like this and fight each other, and how the individual, then you'll also say, this is my wall, this is my house. But in two brothers, there will be a fight. Because we see from leaders and learn. But what is going on around the world is not very palatable. What you visually see, because that is what is reported in the press. Unfortunately, don't follow this. You create an island of excellence of yourself, protect yourself, and then study the Vedas. Discover that Lord is me only, is Aham Brahmasmi. It is your job. So while everything which is happening, just keep an eye on all those things. Don't waste time and focus on study of Vedas and discover Bhagavan, who can be revealed only through Vedas. Govinda. I'll stop here and continue in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Magi Magishaha. Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhavas Nityam. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We'll again see next class. Hari Om. Hari Om.